I think the first thing you can do to learn how to build high converting product pages is go check out the very best players in the game. And that's what we're going to do in this video. We're going to be looking at MVMT and a little bit of Apple. So stay tuned if you want to learn more. If you're new to the channel, I'm Connor and this is Debutify, where we look at dropshipping and all things dropshipping. And we also have a theme giveaway once a week. So if you want to try out our theme, then watch these videos and you might be one of the lucky winners. Anyway, let's get into the video. Strap in, get yourself a piece of paper, pen, pad, or if you don't mind the overlords listening in, you can use Google Docs or Pages or what have you on your word processor. Take some notes. Also, Philosophy has won a free month of the Debutify theme at the Hustler plan level. So shout outs to you, Philosophy. Great name there. Don't know how you snagged it on YouTube. A little bit jealous. So good luck with the theme, Philosophy. I'm sure you'll kill it. And I'm keen to see your store. Maybe I could review it in future, see what you did with the theme. I really encourage you to do this process in your own time because that's where the real learning is going to happen, because you're going to be searching for new concepts. I'm going to find a few here today, but when you go through yourself, you're going to have a much more blank slate and a clear perspective to look at these websites. Go find whoever you want, somebody you're interested in, and try and see why these websites are so compelling. What are they actually saying in the product ad copy? Even if you can't achieve these things to the same caliber, it's important to know where you're going, what you're trying to aim for in the field. Just like when we looked at SimilarWeb and Commerce Inspector, we went through and looked at some of the best performing websites on the internet. But I found it useful to see, or at least try and understand, how these websites are operating. I was exposed to apps I never even heard of, and then I went and did my own research, tried out the free trials on Shopify App Store. And that's what you should be doing. But also, I don't know who you are, so don't take my advice so literally. Just have fun, try and experiment, try and learn, try and build a high converting product page. When people land on your page, I have 6 ideas that I want you to consider when building your product page. Firstly, you need to identify a problem. Then press on the customer's pain point, offer a solution, justify the price, offer and scarcity, and product features and specifications. Now, you don't really need to do it in any order, but jot that down. Maybe I'll leave a link in the description because that's key fundamentals, and make sure that you're doing all of those on the product page. And we'll go through here and have a look at some of the very best product pages. I mean, in my opinion, I don't know, maybe there's some better. Why don't you hit me up in the comments below and be like, oh, hey, Connor, you don't know anything. Here's the best product page. No, here's the best. Come on, let's all learn together. Share, collaborate, comment below. All right, let's boogie. So in last week's product research video, we looked at MVMT. The reason that I chose this website is because I was so close myself to making a purchase. And that is a subjective metric around, a threshold of what people are gonna buy and when. I was able to just step back and not buy it. But it made me realize how many people didn't step back, how many people were just sucked in by their excellent ad copy on the product pages. I don't actually know. I feel like a lot. I mean, I know they're doing 700K a month, which is a little bit better than me. So we know that MVMT is a Shopify store just like anyone else could build, except they're doing it differently. So they've actually upgraded the website since I did a draft of this video yesterday. That's actually quite nice. So when I was on here yesterday, both of these watch catalogs had just said shop now. And my point to make was that they were just subtly introducing you to the idea that you should shop now on their website. Now, however, just one day later, they've updated their website and it says shop international waters. So we'll follow through and have a look at what's going on. Okay, so they've got a men's international waters edition of watches with a new sort of cobalt gray. Looks quite nice. No matter how you wrap it up, they are just telling you to shop now twice on the main page. It's not subtle. They want you to buy stuff. I mean, let's look at the name itself. It's the condensed version of movement. The company is getting the customer to associate movement with their brand and its products, which ties into a sense of productivity, of activity, of positivity, all of which we want more in our lives. I mean, okay, so what are you going to do? You might follow these blunt, you know, shop international waters buttons, or you could scroll down past them. And what they've done in case you do that is they have these like collaboration pieces, which I think is such a simple dropshipping tool that we could all do. MVMT do this really well. They had another one up here yesterday with another artist, and all that they had was just a lady inside of a warehouse drawing on a piece of paper. Like, it wasn't anything too skillful. It was just a free form portrait, you know, pretty simple, but it connects the customer to the person behind the brand, which is a really powerful tool. And that's what MVMT do a lot. They've just released this today. Rory Kramer times MVMT signature eyewear. And, you know, on a face value, they've got these, I mean, there's some sort of cool new lenses that they're bringing out. But to really hook you in, they just have like an influencer like Rory Kramer. They've gone into the desert. They've taken a couple of photos with him walking around. I mean, I'm not going to expect everyone to do this, but you could just do this on your street. Get your phone out. We've all got cameras. Just get your mate, you know, like, I'm not going to Google Rory Kramer and try and do research on him. I'm just going to take at face value that he's like somewhat cool, so I should buy the glasses. Like, that's what they want you to do. And that's what you can do. You can just get somebody you know and be like, here's a model, really. That's all that MVMT are doing here. They're like getting a model to wear the product. That's just a step to the side where your ad copy should be. You should just be including models in these products. Give it a sense of life. This is simple. It doesn't take much effort, but it adds a lot of production value and excitement and connection to your customers. But anyway, if I actually follow through their funnel and have a look at the watches, see, shop now, shop now. Okay, sure, I'll get one. And I find something that I kind of like. Two things I like about this catalog page on MVMT. They give you the watches front and center, like it's a massive display, just 4 watches right there. But they also give you 60 watches per page. One thing I've always found annoying of online shopping is you have to like keep ticking the next page, like show me more, show me more. MVMT know that it's a hassle and they're just gonna give you them all at once. And this does a subtle thing psychologically. It normalizes the idea of making a purchase. They're saying there's so many variants of watches, there must be one here for you. So you cannot leave this website without making a purchase, which is kind of freaky, but I'm sure it works. Like, they're killing it. Another store who uses this technique really well is Oliver Peoples. I'll have to do a store breakdown of them all on their own because their store is absolutely beautiful. But they do the same thing with the amount of products. They do the same thing here, except it's not 4, it's 3. But there's plenty of variants. And then, you know, when you get to the bottom, you can even load more products and you get twice as many as you did at the start. They've really nailed this. You know, I don't like those pages where they just show 10 variants and you have to click through 30 pages to find what you're looking for. The other thing I like about MVMT and Oliver is they have a really well fleshed out brand story. I don't see this much in dropshipping. You're just gonna get the product. Like, who are you? What am I doing in this shop? When you go into a real brick and mortar store, you're confronted with a person. And through that small, simple association, you're gonna feel a little bit easier about making a purchase. And these people know that. I mean, my one critique of MVMT is that they have this massive block of text on their Our Story page. And they just need a couple of paragraphs here to make it easier to digest. But they do it down here, our products, nice 2 spaces in between. Yeah, the other thing they do is influencers, which we will get into in future videos. You know, they've hit up filmmakers like Sam Calder. They've got this amazing photo of him hanging outside of a helicopter over Cape Town, which, you know, not all dropshippers like me and you are going to be able to do. But they have quite a vague label for all of these people. Orion Carlotto, Disruptors and Dreamers. Jeff Cole, Disruptors and Dreamers. You know, these people have got their own story, and all of your friends and your family have their own story too. And they've just said, let's interview this person, let's find out more about them. And at the same time, we associate that person with our product. So you kind of gain like this friend. You read about them, they've made videos about them, and all the while they're plugging the watches. Creepy, but it works. These influencer photos also have a massive FOMO appeal, where you're kind of looking at them, they're doing cool stuff, they look cool, like they're all beautiful, and they're all wearing the watch. And you're like, oh, maybe if I had the watch, I would be cool too. It's classic marketing. This is where they're pressing on the customer's pain point. They're adding this fear of missing out, and they present the solution. which is a $200 watch. So try and do this in your own stores. They also just put their products on rocks, like just on rocks, on a rock. Putting your product on a rock is a very simple idea, but that's how you need to look at building your product pages. What is everybody else doing? They're displaying the product. How could I do it differently? Display the product on a rock instead of like a creepy AliExpress mannequin or like a fake person wearing it that you've just photoshopped it onto it. Get the product, display it in your own house, add some authenticity to it. Ask yourself how you can be unique while keeping this same concept the same. People have a certain expectation from online stores, so you can't go too wacky, but you can try and break the mold. And let's have a look at those 6 ideas that I was talking about earlier. Throughout the landing page, they've identified the problem, they've created this sense of fear of missing out, and then they press on your pain point through the influencer photos, and then they present you with this glorious, stylish watch, the solution. They're not adding scarcity here, but they are adding social proofs. But before we get to that, let's look at their copy. As bold as the open road. This oversized 47mm chronograph is inspired by 1960s auto culture, with double domed glass and a vintage dual dials. The Astro Blue's polished silver steel and cobalt blue colorway takes notes from that Times classic muscle car paint job. So you can see here immediately that they're evoking a sense of timelessness with this muscle car and the 1960s auto culture, as well as the overall simplicity of the watch. And their ad copy reflects that. It's far less concise than the Apple ad copy, but they're not rambling on. They're just giving it to you straight. And then they're going to give you the specifications. And this is concise as well. Stainless steel, stainless steel. Is it interchangeable strap? Yes. And there's subdials, 60-meter timer. So let's have a look at another one. Yeah, I like this one, the Field Nomad. I'm a bit of a nomad myself. Sometimes, not all the time. Yeah, it's definitely calling my name with that name. It's also quite cheap. Go somewhere in the field. Nomad. Copy actually has a couple of typos, but I think one thing about this page that's useful is the reviews are on point. People in the reviews are saying that they've got more than one of MVMT's products. And I think that is very incentivizing for the fresh customer to take a look at. It's just sucking you in. People have said, this beautiful watch is a perfect addition to my MVMT collection. I've got lots of MVMT watches, but this one stands out as my second purchase. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 3 out of the 5 reviews just here have bought more than one watch from these guys. And it's probably not a coincidence that these reviews are on the first page of the product page. I don't even need to push through to the other pages. I'm convinced the FOMO is real. Like MVMT want you to know that people are getting these watches. And not only that, people are getting more than one, and you should too. It's subtle, but someone who's going to go through and read these reviews, this is where they are getting convinced. And real quick, if you're sick of seeing me for 15 minutes, you can go and listen to Joseph on the Debutify podcast and walk around the house or commute to work while getting just serious nuggets from him as well. You can check out the podcast here or in the description below. Okay, so when you're building your product pages, you don't have to be so regulated with those 6 points I mentioned before, but just make sure that all of the words and images you use flow with the voice of your brand. And if you don't know what to do and don't know where to start, then go and find great ad copy and try and understand what they're doing. I think a good definition of great ad copy is if it pulls you in. If you as the individual look at it, read it, and go, oh my God, I want this product. I mean, I don't know if you're speaking out loud like that, but if intuitively it feels right and you're going to make the purchase, just check that ad copy. What was it that they said that was so compelling, so convincing? Real quick though, if you're just starting out, don't spend too much time on ad copy because you're probably just going to want to test a bunch of different products and see what works best. But if you've got a one product store, then certainly take the time to nail the copy. So one more thing before we finish off, I'm just going to give you some tips around page optimization hacks. Google is going to crawl your website for AdWords. So make sure you include exactly what you're selling in your product descriptions, while also keeping everything honest and idiot-proof, easy to understand for your customers. Because Google will downrank you if your AdWords are different to your site. go to gtmetrics.com, and that is going to tell you how to prioritize aspects of your website. If you just plug in your website, it's going to do a free report on your website. So let's have a look. So while that's loading, so you can plug in your site and review the parts that need to be changed. Maybe the files are too big and you can scale them down. So we'll do Fairhead and Stray Path. Stray Path is getting a 76% page score, which is a C. The load time was 7.7 seconds and the total page size was just over 5 megs. Then you can go through and see what exactly is going on. My main issue, it seems, are the images are way too big. If you don't understand this, somewhere down the line, once you've scaled your business enough, you can give this to a colleague, to a virtual assistant, to a developer, or just if you know more about code than me, you can ask them about leveraged browser caching or minimized redirects and, optimize. Fairhead is getting less. Ooh, 8.7 seconds to load. Main issue here, defer parsing of JavaScript. So it looks like I have some work to do on my 2 websites. So a really great website should be 2 to 3 seconds load time. People are shopping at certain times of the day, certain times of the week, and they're not going to wait around for your page to load. So take a look at GT Metrics or Page Insights by Google, download all the metrics and try and implement them into your site. First thing I noticed when I go on the Apple website is how short the line is. Ha, jokes, I'm on a computer, there is no line. Genius. Anyway, it is brilliantly smooth. Like, you know that. They are smooth operators. But not only in terms of how they present their information, but also in terms of graphics and the page speed, which you can try and optimize on the back end of Shopify. Yeah, so I just arrived on the landing page. They've got a mean high-speed hype around their next Apple event, which is at 6 a.m. in New Zealand, so I won't be attending that. I think one thing I've learned from going on the Apple Store website, like the limited amount of copy that they use. Everything is extremely concise. They've just got things like, the future of health is on your wrist. For the Apple Watch Series 6, this is concise. The future of health is on your wrist. It's short, but it packs a punch. iPad Air, powerful, wonderful, colorful. Learn more, buy now. Concise. Boom. You can just go through and look at these. They don't go above 10 words on any of these products. I think that's genius. People have short attention spans. Come on, keep watching, man. Compelling info, data, content. Anyway, yeah, go look at this and see for yourself how goddamn concise this page is. If you go onto the iPad page, I really like what they're doing here. It's asking you to scroll down with this first image. It's such a simple concept. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 iPads stacked up. But when you land on the page, you can only see 4 and it's like dragging you down. You're like, oh, what's under here? And then you go through and they do all their brilliant ad copy. And by the end of it, you've dropped $800 on an iPad. So what are they doing here? They're giving us the features of the product while subtly introducing the idea that we're missing out. It's all about taking better notes with this new iPad. And it's not obvious that they're dissing you and your crappy old school black book notepad. But that's exactly what they're doing. They're pressing on the customer's pain point. And then they introduced the nice iPad flavored herbal cream to make everything better. Yeah, so I can't really screen record this, but if you go iPad Air and press learn more, you'll be able to see some fantastic, compelling ad creative, and I won't give it away. You should just go check it out. So just to summarize, get out there, have a look at excellent product copy, see what feels right, see what's actually compelling, and try and figure out what they're doing. Some simple ideas are those 6 points. Identify the problem, press on the customer's pain point, present a solution, justify the price, for example with social proofs, have some sort of offer or scarcity, and product features and specs. Hopefully there's some tips for you there that you can implement. The video was compelling and interesting. If you liked it, please subscribe. Otherwise, have a great day. Thanks for watching.